Hello guys, welcome to the new session of surface chemistry. In this session, we will be discussing mainly about catalyst and we will be seeing the theory how the catalysts are enhancing the rate of reaction. So let's start with it. Okay. So first thing, what is catalysis? Okay, or what is a catalyst? So a substance which alters the rate of chemical reaction, okay, which alters the rate of chemical reactions and remains chemically and quantitatively unchanged after the reaction is called as catalyst. Okay, so it alters the rate of reaction. Alter meaning it can increase the rate of reaction or it can also decrease the rate of reaction. Okay, so it alters the rate of chemical reaction and remains chemically unchanged, also quantitatively. Like if you have put 10 grams of a catalyst, it will be 10 grams of catalyst at the end of the reaction also. Okay, so that substance is catalyst and the phenomena is known as catalysis. Okay, now just to give you an example, like potassium chlorate decomposes at almost 700 to 800 Kelvin, okay, which is this one. But if you use a catalyst, that is MnO2 as catalyst, the same reaction happens but at a very low temperature. Okay, now apart from, so this is the use of catalyst. Apart from catalyst, we also have promoters and poisons. So promoters are the substances which enhance the activity of catalyst. Basically they try to push the working of the catalyst, so they enhance the activity of catalyst. And poisons are the substances which decrease the activity of catalyst. Just to give you an example, in Haber's process is used for manufacturing of ammonia. So in this case, molybdenum is act as a promoter for iron. So you can see NH2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. So iron Fe is the catalyst here and molybdenum is the promoter. So that is increasing the activity or enhancing the activity of iron. Now let us look at the type of catalysis. Okay, so first is homogeneous catalysis. Homogeneous catalysis is when the reactants and the catalyst are in the same phase. Remember that we are not talking about products at all. We are talking only about the reactants and catalyst are in the same phase. For example, you can see in this reaction we have gaseous phase, gaseous phase, gaseous phase. So this is an example of homogeneous catalysis. Okay, that is oxidation of sulfur dioxide into sulfur trioxide, okay, in presence of NO, which is also gas. Another example we can say that this one. Okay, so you can see my both the reactants are in liquid phase as well as my catalyst is in liquid phase. Okay, same here. Here also my sugar is in aqueous, that is liquid phase, water is there liquid, and H2SO4 is also in liquid phase. So this is an example of homogeneous catalysis. Similarly, we have heterogeneous catalysis. So this is when the reactants and catalyst are in different phase. Okay, so this is heterogeneous catalysis. Like here you can see oxidation of sulfur dioxide. My reactant are in gaseous phase, whereas my catalyst is in solid phase. Haber's process, reactants are in gaseous and my catalyst is in solid phase. Same here, gaseous, platinum. Okay, vegetable oil plus hydrogen, that is hydrogenation of vegetable oil. So this is liquid phase, this is gaseous phase, and this is in solid phase. So this is heterogeneous catalysis when the reactants and catalysts are in different phases. Okay, now how does a catalyst react, or what is the theory behind the catalyst? So what happens is, let's consider an example. Let's say that this is my catalyst surface. Okay, so catalyst surface is having free valencies. That means it is free to make bonds with. Okay, let's say A and B are supposed to react. So A and B are our reacting molecules. So first step is diffusion of reactants to the surface of catalyst. Basically they come and join the surface of the catalyst. So what happens is adsorption of reacting molecule. So you see that A gets adsorbed here and B gets adsorbed here. Okay, so that is the second part, that is adsorption of reactant molecule on the surface of catalyst. Now when they are adsorbed, the chemical reaction occurs between A and B. So occurrence of chemical reaction on the catalyst surface, basically the reaction is happening on the surface of catalyst through the formation of an intermediate. So basically if you see, this here is an intermediate complex. Okay, now after the chemical reaction has occurred, what happens? They get dissolved means they are getting removed from the surface of the catalyst. So you can see dissorption of the reaction products from the catalyst surface, and thereby making the surface available again for more reaction to occur. Okay, so basically you see the catalyst is regenerated again at the end of this process. The catalyst is regenerated and we got the product A and B. So, and then this product is actually getting diffused in the environment. It does not stay here, it goes away, so that more A and B individually can come and join the surface for doing further reaction. So basically catalyst is kind of regenerated at the end. So very important. So you see, in chemical kinetics also we were talking about a catalyst provides an alternate pathway. So this is how the catalyst is providing an alternate pathway by decreasing the activation energy between the reactants and products. Okay, so basically this is how it decreases, or decreases the activation energy, or this is how it gives the procedure, okay, for the final product. Now, some features of solid catalyst. So first feature is activity. So activity, remember the definition, very important. Activity of a catalyst is its ability to speed up the reaction. Basically, activity means how much fast it can make the reaction. If the reaction was happening in 10 hours, now it is happening in 1 hour. So that is activity. Okay. Next is selectivity. Selectivity of a catalyst is its ability to direct the reaction to yield a particular product. Okay, so basically this is selectivity. So the property which is ability to direct the reaction to yield a particular product. Now remember that the catalysts are actually highly selective in nature. Now highly selective in nature means that a given substance can act as catalyst only in a particular reaction. It's not for all the reaction. Like for example, here nickel is acting as a catalyst, here copper is acting as a catalyst. If I put nickel here, it will not be same as copper. Okay, so one particular catalyst is used for a particular type of reaction. Okay, now shape selective catalysis by zeolites. Okay, so what is shape selective catalysis? First of all, so the catalytic reaction that depends upon, first is pore structure of the catalyst, and second is the size of the reactant and product molecule. Then it is called as shape selective catalyst or catalysis. Okay, so please remember these 2 points. That is, the catalytic reaction depends on the pore structure of catalyst, and it depends on the size of reactant and product. It depends on both reactants also as well as product. Then it is shape selective catalysis. So zeolites actually are good shape selective catalyst because they have honeycomb like structure. Honeycomb like structure is the hexagonal structure. It's like how honeybees store their honey. Okay, so zeolites are actually microporous aluminosilicates with three-dimensional network of silicates in which some silicon atoms are replaced by aluminium atoms. That gives us Al single bond O single bond Si framework. Okay, we have seen this in 11th standard also. You can check your textbook. So this is the typical structure of a zeolite. In this one, what happens? The reaction take place in zeolite. It depends upon size and shape of reactant, size and shape of product molecule, pore and cavities of zeolite. So it is satisfying all the three conditions. Hence zeolites are very good shape selective catalyst. Okay, now what are the uses of zeolite? One use of zeolite is that they are used in petroleum industry or petrochemical industry for cracking hydrocarbons and isomerization. Okay, this is an exam question. Please note it down. In petroleum industry, ZSM5. So this is the particular name ZSM5. It converts alcohols directly into gasoline, that is petrol, by dehydrating them to give a mixture of hydrocarbons. Okay, so please note down, this is an exam question. And that's it for this session. See you all in the next one. Bye bye.